Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another video right here on Free Will Photos. Today, we are taking a look at the summer release of Luminar. And you'll notice that I just stopped at the word Luminar. I did not include Neo because one of the updates is the name change. It's just called Luminar now. And if you want to find out more information about the summer and fall release of Luminar, then check the video in the description box below where I go into more detail explaining what's going on. But today, what we're going to do in this particular video is take a look at the new interface. If you find that Luminar is something that you want to pick up and you want to save some money in the process, I want to let you know of two things. First, there is a pre-order window for this upgrade period, and that's going to be between July 31st and August 31st, 2026. If you purchase during this window, you're going to save some extra money because it's already on discount, and this is going to be the lowest price that Skylum is offering Luminar for. Now, of course, if you want to save some additional money on top of that, you can consider using my coupon code FWP10. It will save you some money at checkout. I do make a commission from everyone who uses that coupon. However, it's at no extra cost to you, and so it's a win-win and a great way of supporting the channel. Now, let's dive into the computer and take a look at the new interface of Luminar. So here we are inside of the computer looking at Luminar. Now, I want to be clear, I am using a beta version of the software. So if things don't look exactly the same when this becomes available on August 5th for everyone, don't hold me to that. Just kind of get the idea of what's coming, and we'll see what actually releases on August 5th. But I have a feeling it's going to be very close to what we're going to look at today. Now, in the upper left corner, you'll notice that we have a larger badge here that says Luminar. And if you click this drop down, you have access to pretty much all your menu options. Over here to the right of that Luminar badge, you'll notice we have navigation here. And one of those is a catalog, and this is clickable. And then we have the folder where I'm actually in. These are some images that I downloaded from Envato Elements. And then it just happens to have this particular image selected right now. And so there it is. You'll notice that this is clickable and this is clickable. So navigation is a little bit easier for us to move around with. In the top center, we no longer have catalog, presets, and edit like we used to have. Instead, that's moved over here to the right. Now, on the way over there, you'll notice we have some XF data, and this is where you can take a look at the settings of a particular image when it was shot. And if you click it, then it just opens up this little window here. And so it gives you all of that information that we've been familiar with seeing inside of Luminar, where you can look a little bit deeper and also give this a heart rating. You can still do that here on the images, so nothing has changed with that. If you want to hide this, you'll come over to the right and click info, and then it will close that down so you don't see it anymore. Now, the presets option, this is what we've always been able to do. It's just down on the right side. So you have presets over here on the far right, and then you can just navigate through your presets, select one, apply it to the image. Normal business after that. The next one down is tools. Now tools, this jumps you into the edit page. And this could be, a little confusing at first, but I think it's actually going to simplify things. I appreciate having a option called tools because this moves you into all of the tools. What's different here is where we used to have edit at the top of the screen, we now have our edits over here on the right side. So let me just go ahead and apply an enhance AI, and then I'll just close that down. You'll notice now that on the edits tile on the right column, I have a little circle on it. And that's essentially the same thing that it was showing us previously, that if you edited something and that little dot was there, that meant that you had some filters in the edit section. And so if I click here, you can see I have the enhance AI, and this is that edit section. So if you're familiar with navigating inside of Luminar, what used to be at the top for edits is now over here on the right side. But to get back to tools and start working on the image again, you have to click on tools. And this is essentially the same way that it was previously. We just don't have the edit module anymore. As soon as you click on tools, it brings you into the tool or into the edit workspace, so to speak. And then you just jump between these two tiles right here. Now, if you're trying to get back to the catalog, that you probably guessed it, and just click on catalog up here. Look, it brings you back to your catalog. And then you select another image, and then you can click on tools, and you're back inside of the editing workspace. And if you click on tools again, you would think it would take you back to the catalog, but it doesn't. All right. And so that is what's over here above this little break. All right. We have preset, tools, and edits. We already looked at info. And what I actually appreciate about this, if I'm in the edit workspace and I'm like, I need to look at the file settings. One, I've been looking for this for a very, very long time. I now have access to look at the file settings while I'm editing the image, especially if I'm like, do I need to do noise reduction? You should probably always rely on what the image looks like to make that determination, but sometimes it helps to know what the ISO was or what the camera settings were altogether. Now, if I come over here and click info, I can easily jump into the info tab and then back to tools. It's just really seamless. I like this particular design of the layout. But then down here where it says extra, well, you now have access to all of your extra tools. So your generative tools, your upscale tools, and then of course, HDR, focus, and panorama stitching. Now, a lot of people don't use these particular tools, and so it's nice to have them tucked away in their own little tab. Now, of course, if you want to use these generative tool features, you can click on extra, and then you can just click and drag, drop your image into those areas, and you have access to the tool as normal, but I'm not going to do that today. I just wanted to show you, you could do that and it would work out just fine. So now that we've taken a look at the upper left and the tools on the right, -1, and that's the export. We'll get to that here in a second. Let's take a look at the bottom of the interface to see what's going on down there. So if we come here to the bottom, you'll notice that this dial or this bar, it looks pretty much the same as usual or as previous. However, you now have these two little icons, and I love this is going to be the jump back to the grid view icon. For those of you who ever struggled with expanding and like making an image large, and then you're like, okay, how do I get back to the grid or all of the images in that folder? Well, you can just come down here to the bottom, click the little grid looking icon or the 4 boxes, whatever you want to call it. And then it brings you back to this grid overview so you can look at all your images. I really enjoy that type of navigation inside of photo editors, and I'm thankful to see that here inside of Luminar. Now, the last thing that we'll look at on the left side is your account information. Now, I have some of this blurred out because it just for privacy purposes, but if you click this drop down arrow, you'll get a little pop-up window and you have some options in here. The first one is my plan. And so if you want to see what plan you're on, you can click that and Luminar will tell you what plan you are on. And, my software, you'll be able to check what software you have. If you have multiple versions of Luminar from, earlier versions all the way up until now, you'll be able to see that as well. And if you have multiple accounts and you kind of want to merge them, then you get an option to do that here. So really, this is just like the streamlined contextual box. I really, really enjoy having things simplified for us like this. And then, of course, you have Luminar Mobile. I already have that. Mine says Get, but I already have that. If you don't have Luminar Mobile, I recommend that you have Luminar on mobile. All right. And that's how I should say it. Not Luminar Mobile, because that's not what it is anymore. It is now called Luminar on mobile. Then you have profile settings, and you can change those by clicking on that, and it opens up a web browser. So you can go in to your Skylum account and make all of those adjustments. Obviously, you don't need to see that. That's something you'll be able to explore on your own. Now, the last thing that I want to cover with this interface change is export. If I click on export, you'll notice I get this pop-out dialog box, and most of this is normal. You've seen this in previous versions of Luminar. However, down at the bottom here, you have this publish to space. Now, if you have one of the passes that allows you to do this, then you're going to be able to get in and publish to spaces. Whereas that used to be over here on the left side, the way that we would access that, it's now here in the export dialog. So think about that whenever you want to use the spaces. So there's the quick look at the new Luminar interface. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. For those who are using Luminar, do you like this? Are you concerned about it? Now, what I will say, if you are new to Luminar or you're on the fence about picking it up, I think that this interface is going to be really easy to learn and use. And I really appreciate that Skylum takes the approach of making the interface user friendly. And there's no doubt about the interface here being simplified and easier to use for beginner photographers. So if that's you, this is probably a strong contender and a program that I would highly recommend that you take a look at for your workflows. Now, of course, I also have to recommend that you look at the system requirements to make sure that your computer can handle the specifications to run this program smoothly. Now, if all of those things check out and you are still interested in picking up Luminar, consider picking it up between July 31st and August 31st because it's going to be on sale. It's going to be the lowest offer that Luminar is going to be on sale for a while. Now, of course, if you like to save a little bit of money on top of that sale price, consider using the coupon code FWP10 when you check out. That is an affiliate coupon code. I do make a commission, but it's at no extra cost to you. It's a win-win and a great way of supporting the channel. Until next time, I want you to stay inspired and keep creating. Peace.